ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Hoff Talk TV. I am your host, Robert Knight, and this week's edition is once again going to be Hoffalicious. To jump into some music news to start things off this week, David Hasselhoff has a brand new song which is now available on iTunes. It's from the new movie called Alleluia, The Devil's Carnival. David shot this role sometime last year. It is a movie/musical. This is actually the sequel. If you caught the first one, The Devil's Carnival, you'll know exactly what the movie's about. But David plays a very cool role in this, and as I mentioned, available now on iTunes is the soundtrack, Alleluia, The Devil's Carnival. Now, David's song is available as part of the album only, so you have to buy the whole album, but it's only $7.99. It's some very different, very interesting music, and David's voice shines through as always. The song is called Only by Design, and you can preview it as well on iTunes. You'll get the vibe of the song. It reminded me of something from Jekyll and Hyde a little bit. And speaking of Jekyll and Hyde, we're going to be covering Jekyll and Hyde in depth in next week's edition of Hoff Talk TV. It's going to be a very special episode, a special edition featuring Jekyll and Hyde and David's role and performance in Jekyll and Hyde. So stay tuned, check it out. It's going to be Hoff the Charts. Speaking of Hoff the Charts, you'll notice the two CDs in front of me here if you're watching us on Hoff Talk TV. If you're tuning in on the podcast on HIACTalkradio.com, the two albums I have in front of me are David as well as Close to Heaven. Now, David is David Hasselhoff's fifth studio album. It was released on BMG Ariel Music, White Records in 1991. This was David's third album with producer Jack White. Following the success of Looking for Freedom and Crazy for You, the album David hit the scenes. Now, this album features a song that David still performs in concert to this day, Do the Limbo Dance. It's a very fun song. If you've been to any David's concerts, you know that you're sitting in the crowd, there's a chance that you might end up on the stage with David doing the limbo. You can see some of his performances on YouTube and in his live concert videos that he's released. Do the Limbo Dance is a very, very fun song, a catchy song. The album also features Gypsy Girl, Are You Still in Love with Me, which was featured on an episode of Baywatch, as well as Hands Up for Rock and Roll, which David has loved to perform live from time to time, as well as Close to Heaven and a host of others. Now, this album was brought out throughout other countries in Europe under the title Close to Heaven. This is only a 10-track CD. It's not the full 12 that you get from the album David. It's 10 tracks. The songs are in a bit of a different order, and it's still the same vibe. This CD is actually very hard to come by, so if you ever see a copy for sale and you're a collector of David Hasselhoff's music, you want to jump on it. Close to Heaven, there is a few copies on vinyl circulating also, which is very, very rare, but cool collectible. And the album David is a very, very cool album. Again, it's hard to find. You can find a few copies on Amazon.com here in the US and in some other countries, but it does vary by price. Now, some of the songs, such as Do the Limbo Dance, Gypsy Girl, Hands Up for Rock and Roll, In Stereo, and Feeling So High, are available on iTunes, as well as some other compilation sets from David and compilation CDs. So the songs are available, but it's tracking down the albums that could be kind of tricky. But the 1991 release David and 1991 release Close to Heaven are this week's Hoff the Charts David Hasselhoff CDs. We mentioned last week on Hoff Talk TV that we were bringing back the Fan of the Week, and this week's Hoff Talk TV David Hasselhoff Fan of the Week is none other than German fan Wolfgang Schadler. Wolfgang reached out to us via Twitter, sent us a tweet at Hoff Talk, and let us know that he is a huge lifelong fan of David Hasselhoff's and the whole Hasselhoff family, and he wanted David to know that he has a huge place in his heart and he has meant a lot to him for years and years. So Wolfgang Schadler, we thank you very much for reaching out to us at Hoff Talk, and you are the David Hasselhoff Hoff Talk TV Fan of the Week. Now, if you want to be featured on an upcoming episode of Hoff Talk TV, tweet us at Hoff Talk. Let us know why you're a fan of David Hasselhoff. Send us pictures of your collection. Share your stories, your memories of David, and you may find yourself featured on Hoff Talk TV. Speaking of Twitter, you can of course follow at David Hasselhoff and at @RobertKnight_ for the latest news and travels of David Hasselhoff. David Hasselhoff's upcoming musical, Last Night a DJ Saved My Life, is announcing more and more dates as weeks go by. So you want to check out lastnightatdj.com for ticket information on how you can join David Hasselhoff's newest upcoming musical as it takes off. Last Night a DJ Saved My Life. Now if you go to lastnightatdj.com as well as on davidhasselhoffonline.com, David's official website, you'll find some videos that David has posted in reference to the musical. He's very excited about it. Tickets are going very, very quickly, so you want to snatch yours up while you can. Hopefully we'll have more information on the show in the coming weeks. It kicks off in October. As of now, it's slated to run through February, but of course dates are being added every day, so that could change. lastnightatdj.com. Want to remind everybody once again to visit SkullsOnFireJewelry.com for the latest, hottest jewelry from Taylor Ann Hasselhoff. Check it out.
Are you tired of the same old jewelry everywhere you look? Isn't it time you spruced up your jewelry collection with some of the hippest, hottest, most happening jewelry going today? Well, Taylor Ann Hasselhoff is bringing to you SkullsOnFireJewelry.com. Skulls on Fire Jewelry features a huge line of unisex jewelry, rings, bracelets, necklaces, both men and women. Make a statement everywhere you go. Check out SkullsOnFireJewelry.com today.
As we mentioned last week, CelebVM.com is the place to go for your David Hasselhoff personalized video messages. If you ever dreamed of having a video to you by name or to a family member or a friend for a birthday, an engagement, for Christmas, CelebVM.com is the place to go. You can personalize your video from David Hasselhoff. Check it out today. I want to thank everybody once again for tuning in to Hoff Talk TV. And I want to remind you, if you have stories, pictures, videos, anything, you name it, related to David Hasselhoff that you want to share here on Hoff Talk TV, tweet us at Hoff Talk or visit our Facebook page, Hoff Talk. Send us your videos, your stories. We'll be more than happy to share them with the world here each and every week on Hoff Talk TV. So if you want to be fan of the week, if you want to share your stories, or if you just have ideas or people that you'd like to see here on the show, let us know. We're always open to it. Thank you once again for checking us out. And of course, tune in next week as we bring you a very special episode. It's going to be a Hoff Talk TV special edition on Jekyll and Hyde the musical. Remember, one man can make a difference.